of it in old New York.
Hi everybody, welcome to Tony Talks. This time it's episode number 9. Who would have thunk it? We have got this far. We have gotten so far, you guys. Episode 9. Further than we could have ever imagined. And it's all because of you. It's all because of you guys out there and how you fight back against the fake news media. And that's why our ratings are going up. And those guys' ratings are going down because we're sticking together. Because they were talking about transparency and we're giving it to you straight. That's the Tony Talks guarantee. We give it to you straight. You guys stay at home. We stay at home. We talk. A lot of people can't stay at home because they got to save lives. God bless those individuals. But for the rest of us, I just want to say, I think you should stay home. I think you should stay home because I don't think you're being told that enough. And I feel like if I make a Facebook status about it, you'll listen finally. You'll finally be like, oh, wow. Some random idiot on Facebook is telling me to stay home. I never really thought about it until I read their 15th fucking status about it. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, enough people are being told to stay home. If they're not going to stay home, that's on them. Avoid those assholes. But if you stay home, at least you'll protect yourselves. If your family stays home, your family will be protected. Do what you got to do. But, I'm getting tired of reading these keyboard moral war, whatever the fuck that you want to call them, that are just going on. They're like, you know what we should be doing right now? For the love of God, just you got to stay home. Stay home. I feel like if, I'm staying home, but if I was staying home with these fucking people, I would be out. I got out of here. I get in the car, I drive around in circles, and then they'd be like, why did you stay home? I'm like, because you keep telling me to. And, I'm now all of a sudden I'm a contrarian. I've never been a contrarian, but because you keep telling me to stay home, all of a sudden now I'm a contrarian because you don't shut the fuck up about it, okay? Everybody knows by this point. You're being told by the left, the right, the media, the public health officials, Dr. Burke, Dr. Fauci. They're telling us to stay home. We don't need another jackass on the internet like myself that doesn't know as much as they think they do, telling everybody what's going on. All right. So, sorry. I just, these idiots on Facebook, and they keep, like, there was a celebrity that came out and they were crying like, we need to stay home and we need to protect each other because we're all in this together. And it's like, why do these celebrities think that they have, if you know what, maybe they do influence a lot of people. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe the stay-at-home people on Facebook, that's the people that are going to listen to that guy to begin with, are the ones that are like, that see the celebrity crying like, it's so important that we stay home. And then they're going to be like, yeah, it is. I just want everybody to know, that's me typing right now, that you should stay home. Stay home. I think those people should go out and they'll expose themselves to the thing. Okay, no, I shouldn't say that. I didn't mean that. But yeah, there's the idiots on Facebook are out in full force right now. And in addition to that, I got into a nice argument on Facebook because I can't help myself when it comes to certain fucking topics and how people think that they're keyboard warriors and they're social activists by sharing a post and saying, say I'm woke, not you, I have virtue and the military doesn't, the National Guard doesn't. So this idiot shared something on Facebook about this kid asking the National Guard in Rhode Island if they are practicing social distancing. And he said, well, then they told me they're going to arrest me for obstruction of justice because I asked this question. They gave me an issue for 2 other things I did before that, and then they told me this. And it's like, okay, so there's already been some type of escalation with this moron that thinks he's a tough guy or some type of virtue signaler for calling out the National Guard, who is probably are kids that are 25 and under, figuring out what the fuck they're supposed to be doing now anyway. Because, there's no MOS There's no job in the military that says police the streets of the United States of America. So this is all new stuff to them. Then they're getting briefed and they're being told what they should be doing, but it's not like they have there's a normal protocol, and there's a normal, like when you go to exercise and you go to train, you're not training for dealing with American people or dealing with, you know, a condition that's saying the military needs to police the streets. And then especially with the National Guard, they're your fucking next door neighbor 99% of the time. So what you do, and what I wrote to the post was, not for nothing, but that's a douche comment. Because it is a douche comment. And then the guy was like, oh, could you elaborate? And I was like, oh, God, here we go. And now they're dealing with some idiot that's like, oh, yeah, I see. And they just, you know, same way people just see uniform, they're missing that there's people behind the uniform. There's just like a person there. It's not necessarily a uniform, and they were just sent in by Trump, and they're like, do. They're just people. So they're flawed, and they're not going to make the fucking right decision. They're not going to say everything right 99% of the time. But if you're a douchebag that keeps escalating things with them to the point where they're telling you, like, all right, get the fuck out of here, or it's obstruction, you should have probably left before that. You know, they're really just doing their jobs. And if you want to talk to them, it's not asking them if they're doing social distancing. And then the guy replied, was it too much for him to say, yeah, we're practicing social distancing, or at this point we're not, because we're putting the public health above our own, or something. I'm like, okay, yeah, why don't you write that down? Send an email to the governor of Rhode Island, and then he can enact it, because you got to figure it out, buddy. You got to figure it out on your keyboard, post-sharing solutions about how the National Guard should be acting. You should be you should be the what's the fuck's the term? The public relations department for the fucking guard, because and what he said made sense, but he's been sitting on his computer thinking about it. And honestly, there was even a video for this fucking thing. You could see videos when you could see if cops are acting too much, or if they're not doing enough, or you could see why they acted like a dick. You know, a lot of times they're wrong. A lot of times it's like, all right, well, did you even have to record this? So it was just some kid that had a Twitter. I don't know what the fuck it was. It was like Twitter or Instagram, and he just said what had happened, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's not right. They shouldn't be. They think they're above the law." And it's like, no, they don't know what the fucking law is that they're supposed to be enforcing, because yesterday they were sitting on their couch in a quarantine like the rest of society in the United States, besides the people that have to be out saving lives or delivering logistics and making sure supply chains stay, you know, together. They're not they're not preparing for this shit. They're just being activated off the couch, and then they're like figuring shit out. So it's a douche comment, and I stand by it that it was a douche comment. Anyway, speaking of social distancing, excuse me, my throat. I've been coughing. I got a little. No, just kidding. Yeah, I went to the Heb, as we call it in the biz. And we're picking up the groceries. You know, the trunk's open. I'm waiting for the girl to come and tell us, okay, this is what we have, this is what we don't have. But when I first get there, there's another guy that's getting his car loaded with a bunch of shit. You know, he's got like 12 stacks of toilet paper. I didn't get any toilet paper, even though I ordered some. Probably because this douchebag ordered the last rolls of toilet paper. So he's getting everything in. In the HEB, they have signs on their parking spots, and it says, we're practicing, and it says in their text messages, we're practicing social distancing. Please remain in your car while we load the items into your vehicle. Just unlock the trunk, we load it in, and that's it. If there's anything missing from the order, they tell you. They stand like a distance away from the window, and they verbalize everything to you. But what I was watching was this guy got out of his car, you know, no mask or anything either, just got out of his car, you know, probably, who the fuck, I don't know where the fuck this guy came from. He's talking to this girl, and he's like, yeah, and he's unloading everything into the car with her. No gloves, no mask, fucking 6 inches away from her, and it's just ignoring pretty much everything that HEB was implementing in order to create a safe environment for their workers, because he felt it important to get out of the car and say, oh, you know, getting away from the wife for a little bit. So how are you doing, sweetheart? Let me just take these rolls of toilet paper. You have toilet paper? I got some toilet paper if you need some toilet paper, as you can see here. Maybe when you get off work, you come over and I can show you all my toilet paper. You know, he was probably saying some stupid shit like that. So he loads everything into the vehicle. And then the girls, you could tell she was like a little uncomfortable. She kept back. It was like a dance. He kept stepping forward, grabbing stuff. She'd step back, and then she'd grab stuff, put stuff in when he wasn't like, when she could create a little bit of separation with this fucking guy. This fucking jerk off. This fucking jerk off. Get the fuck out of here. Okay? So she comes to my window and she's like, did they go over to you with the substitutions and the what we didn't have in stock? I'm like, no, whatever it is, it's fine. She's like, okay. Trunk was open. Loaded everything in. She yells thanks as she's walking away back to the store. I give her the head nod. That's it. That's the whole fucking interaction. No need for me to go out there, you know, because it's just the things are in process. That's the protocol. That's the protocol. And HEB has been lauded for how they've been able to prepare for this thing. As soon as they caught wind of the virus coming to the States, if it might affect everything, they started putting procedures in place. So I'm going to trust that the corporation knows what the fuck they're doing. I'm going to keep my distance from the girl that was just being breathed on by this fucking creepo mother. Hey, get the fuck out of here, you know? So everything was good. Well stocked now. Got more canned goods. No toilet paper. But, you know, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You got the shower right next to toilet paper. If it's a big deal to just run the tub, bend down a little bit, pat a little soap on your asshole and that cleans it off. Big deal. Big deal. Hey, just, you know, so what? You get a little brown stuff running down your leg. You know, then you just turn the shower on. You just stay in there for a few minutes later, and then the brown stuff eventually washes off. You know? So you don't really need toilet paper. I mean, it won't wash off all the time. Sometimes you're walking around, you'll be shifting around your shorts there. You're like, oh, I think there's a little bit more on here than I needed. Than I really thought so. So, you know. But that's the stuff that you deal with. And if that's the worst problem you have during the pandemic, while there's people out all the time saving lives or exposing themselves to ensure that you're getting your logistics so you're able to get, you know, whatever the fuck it is you order off Amazon, like your hair color or your, you know, fucking beanbag that you wanted, then whatever. You're doing okay. You're doing okay. And count your blessings. If you got air conditioning, you got heat, you know, and you got internet. What do you want? What do you want? There's people that would dream to live just in this quarantine and other parts of the world that don't have internet, that don't have heat or air, that could hit a button, and then they're like, oh my god, I'm getting stir crazy. Go watch some stupid TV show. Go watch this Tiger King guy talk about how he likes to suck dick, okay? And then be like, you know, I never seen a hillbilly like that while talking about sucking dick. So, you know, that's, you know, I think if we all just kept that in mind, counted our blessings more, that would be good for you know, that'd be good for everybody instead of bitching and moaning about having to stay inside. Like, big fucking deal. Get yourself a bodyweight DVD like I got with Neon at 6. Get yourself a pull-up bar. I'm fucking killing it on the pull-ups. Banged out 25 the other day. 25. 2-5. Good pull-ups too. Not the fucking half rep and shit. I'm not. Hey, Don Mazzetti. Your boy ain't a half repper. How you doing? And, you know, you keep seeing, I see these posts about people saying, well, this is New York City right now. It's Monday. And there's people just riding the subway with no mask, no gloves, just riding the subway. And I was driving around. I was driving to the Heb, as we call it in the biz. And there were people just, Walmart was packed. People just going in and out. I understand that, like, they have the delivery service, the curbside pickup, all this shit for a reason. You know, all these idiots are going to the shopping carts, just grabbing the carts while this stuff's going on, and just, I don't know what the fuck. Look, what do I know? I'm not a public health professional, okay? I do have an emergency management degree, but I'm not a public health person. So what do I know? But to me, it's common sense. If they're saying wash your hands constantly, you shouldn't grab a fucking wagon that some random person was just walking around with for an hour, and then you walk around with an hour. You walk around with it for an hour, then wipe your face with whatever fucking do with it. Like, I don't know. Plus, you don't have any toilet paper. You probably don't wipe your ass either. You know, so I don't know what you, if you're not using toilet paper, maybe using, I don't know what the fuck you're using. All right, let's not get into that. I don't have to get into that. And then there's filled parks. There's people that are just ignoring the edicts, and I think that's a culture thing here in the USOA. But your boy's doing all right over here. Tony's still talking. I haven't actually. I'm feeling pretty good. I haven't taken Zoloft in like 4 days now, which is I was on it for 2 months or so with the with the anxiety and the mental health issues that your boy was having. But I'm coming through okay now. I woke up one day and I was like, oh shit, I didn't take Zoloft yesterday. And I was like, I don't think I need it. So I'll just wait for the withdrawal symptoms to kick in, and then I'll have it again. But yeah, you just see that they're trying to study the NBA players that have recovered from the coronavirus, their blood plasma. And this is why people like Bill de Blasio shouldn't bitch about players in the NBA being able to get tests done, or why you shouldn't bitch about billionaires being able to supply tests for entire legions of basketball teams. A shout out to James Dolan, by the way, who just got coronavirus. He's a terrible owner. I want him to sell the team, but I still, I hope he comes through all right. If he does have some awakening while he's in quarantine to sell the team, and then he doesn't have very many symptoms and he's okay, I think this could be a very positive thing to happen from the coronavirus. And hopefully he does sell the team, and he realizes that he has no business running an NBA franchise. But anyway, they're just going to study the blood plasma from a lot of these super athletes, or they might take it, or I don't know, because one of the things that they found, or what they're going to try to do, is to see, or this is a treatment option anyway, is to see how the blood from people who have recovered, if it could work with people who are still suffering or having more severe symptoms. So that's why you should let these fucking super athletes with crazy genetics be able to fucking get tested, because they're popular figures anyway. They naturally could be more exposed to things, and they could expose others. So let them use their super genetic athlete fucking blood, and then see how if they could end up helping a lot more people. But because de Blasio wants to make a statement about something, like, dude, you're the mayor, dude. You're the mayor of New York City. Like, try to figure some shit out. And then they had the ventilators that were stored in Edison, New Jersey. New York State did, and then they didn't distribute them because I don't fucking know. But whatever. Just New York things aren't the greatest right now. But I just everybody keeps doing what you gotta do. Stay safe. Don't fucking ride the subways and cram yourself with people. It's just, hopefully everything goes okay with that state. I'm checking in with my family constantly over there. So, love you guys. Hope you guys are doing okay. And we had the Trump brief, where he was asked a question by the reporter, and he totally took what Trump said at this is what happens. Everything gets taken out of context. And I don't think you'll see me wearing a CAG Trump 2020 hat on, but these briefings are making me, I think he's doing okay. I think he's doing a decent job. He at the first was like, this thing's being blown out of proportion, but since then, if you listen to interviews that Dr. Fauci has done, he said Trump has listened to him on every step of the way. And it was actually Dr. Fauci's idea to shut down the travel coming in from China. So I'm going to play this clip of this reporter's question and Trump's response. And there are a little back and forth that happened. And then I'm going to make a comment on it right here in a second.
I'd also like to ask you about some comments you made on Friday. You were talking about governors of different states, and you said, I want them to be appreciative. You also said, if they don't treat you right,
But I didn't
I
say
don't
that.
call.
I didn't
These are
say
direct,
that. No, it's
direct
such
quotes, sir.
Excuse me, ready? Take a look at what it said. I want them to be appreciative of me, okay? And then you cut it off because it's fake news.
You and
CNN.
of your
Listen,
administration,
just
absolutely.
Please, let me just finish. You just said it again, and you know the answer's a lie. You know
I
that
could
your
read you
statement
your
is a
full
lie.
comments,
Let,
sir,
let me
if
just
that
say,
would
look,
be easier.
your statement and your response and your answer is a lie. Because here's the story. You ready? I said, I want you to be appreciative of me, and then you go on, and then I go on, and you cut it off. But it says
You said,
because
I
when
want
you're
them
not,
to be appreciative. I don't want them to say things that aren't true. I want them to be appreciative. We've done a great job. And I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about Mike Pence, the task force. I'm talking about
Thank
FEMA,
you.
the Army Corps of Engineers.
Thank you.
But then you went on to say, if they don't treat you right, I don't call. He's a different type of person,
I don't
you
call.
said, referring to
No,
the
I
vice
don't
president.
call. No, I
Right.
don't call the governor of
Well,
Washington
why in
now.
this time of-
But Mike Pence calls, and the head of FEMA calls. I don't stop them. Did I ever ask you to do anything negative, Mike, to Washington, the state of Washington? Michigan, I love that state. That's one of my favorite places in the whole world, Michigan. And I'm so proud of what's happened with the auto industry. It's coming back to Michigan. No, I don't have to call because I'm probably better off not, because we don't get, he's a failed presidential candidate. He's a nasty person. I don't like the governor of Washington. So you know who calls? I get Mike Pence to call. I get the head of FEMA to call. I get the admiral to call. But what you didn't say, see, you started it off and you talked about, I have to be appreciated. But then, when you read the rest, it said, because if you don't appreciate, you're not respecting these incredible people, the two admirals, you're not appreciating FEMA and the Army Corps of Engineers who built 2,900 beds in 3.5 days, and you're not appreciating all of the work that's been done, and you're not appreciating these incredible people from private enterprise that are delivering things in numbers that nobody's ever seen. See, and that's why people aren't watching CNN very much anymore. That's why they don't like it. That's why your ratings are no good. Because you, even after knowing the truth for days now, you bring up the old lie. Read the rest of your question, the rest of your statement, you didn't put in. You have to put that in. And it said in there, FEMA, and it said in there, Army Corps of Engineers, because when they disrespect me, they're disrespecting our government. And you know what? I don't mind if I'm disrespected, but they can't disrespect the Army Corps of Engineers and FEMA. Okay.
Why is the lack of
Please,
appreciation?
go ahead. I want them to appreciate the incredible job we're doing. We are doing a job the likes of which has never been done before, and there are a couple of people that know that, but for political reasons, let's say they're Democrats, they don't want to give this administration credit, and that's okay, but I don't have to deal with them, but our vice president does deal with them. Please, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr.
But that's
President.
why CNN is not trusted anymore. They are not trusted. They are fake news. Remember that.
Okay, so this is why, because Trump, he's got balls, whether you agree with him or not. The guy has balls, and he just calls out the media on this shit because it's like virtue. It's like this. I don't know. I think like virtue signaling is so overblown, and maybe that's not even what it is. But like what they're doing is they're trying to say, "Gotcha, you're a dick," and he is. He is a dick, but he's a dick with balls. So he's got all all the essential parts. But so he's probably like, I definitely don't agree with a lot of his shit. But for what he's doing to handle the situation and the way he just calls out the media on their bullshit is kind of like a breath of fresh air. And I think that's what got him elected to begin with. And if you're going to fucking run Joe Biden out there, who can't complete full sentences or doesn't know what he said 2 seconds ago, it's going to get him reelected too. Because a lot of the media has been, and this is to include Fox News, CNN, all of them. They're all extremist, sensationalized, fake news in a lot of ways. So the best thing you could do is just look at things on the surface, black and white, and then make your own judgment up, make your own mind up based on what you see, and take because they're looking to find a soundbite. Like this is another thing. It was a 90-minute brief. He had a bunch of questions, and this guy's trying to get a soundbite because Trump said he didn't want to call the mayor of Washington or the mayor of Michigan. And he said he wanted to be appreciated. And what he did, and he passed credit right on to his whole team around there. He said something else about Dr. Burke and Dr. Fauci, were the two public health experts foremost like experts in the world, and what he did, and he's listening to them, and he even said, I was like, I thought we could maybe expand, not to have this the order or the edict to stay at home or keep the country more or less closed down until April 30th. But I got a look from Dr. Burke and Dr. Fauci, and they were like, I don't think that'd be a good idea. And he listened to them. So like, what more do you want? Because it's not even like it's his policies that is what's dictating how the country is going right now. It's just directives or strong suggestions from the public health officials. So, good on them. Yeah, so I think that's it for the Trump speech there, for the Trump part of this. It's getting very interesting, and as combative as the media is, it's kind of refreshing to see somebody say, okay, just shut up, because you want a soundbite. There's all this shit that was just briefed. Take your soundbite and shove it up your ass. Anyway, UFC 249. It's finally, we're getting some news. We're going somewhere with it. It might not be exactly where we want to go with it, but we're going somewhere with it. So Khabib Nurmagomedov went on his Instagram Live. And for those that aren't following, UFC 249 is the biggest MMA fight, most anticipated UFC fight, probably MMA fight for like real hardcore MMA fans of all time. You have Khabib, who is 28-0, guy's never lost in his life. I think he's 12-0 in the UFC. You got Tony Ferguson, who hasn't lost since 2012. He's 25-3. He's on a 12-fight win streak. And Khabib is stuck in Russia right now. He was in California because that's where his training camp is, aka. But he flew to Russia while this pandemic stuff was going on. And now Russia they've closed off flights and all that shit. So now Khabib's kind of stuck, and now the UFC is looking to move on and do Justin Gaethje versus Tony Ferguson. Which, if you're Tony Ferguson, it makes no sense for him to accept a fight like that. The guy hasn't fought for the undisputed title yet. He had an interim title fight, which he won, and then he got stripped of it because he got injured. But when Robert Whittaker won the interim title, he didn't get stripped of it. After he got injured, they left him as the interim champion. But the fact that they stripped Ferguson of his interim title when he already had it, and he has never fought for the undisputed title, it makes no sense for him to accept any fight that is, especially when I go against Justin Gaethje, who's a fucking sick wrestler and seemingly knocks out everybody that he fights. I can't see him accepting anything besides a full title fight against Khabib Nurmagomedov. If you want to do, I'd like to see Gaethje fight somebody. He probably has one more, and then he's the clear cut. It should be Gaethje versus Conor, and it should be Tony versus Khabib. This is the fucking 5th time this fight has been scheduled, and the 5th time that's not going to happen. So it's just frustrating as hell. Somebody's put online that it's like the ultimate blue balls of MMA because this thing's it was the ultimate blue balls of like an MMA fight already because it was canceled 4 times. Now it's going to be canceled the fucking 5th time. I'm hoping they're able to figure something out get a private jet and, whatever. I don't fucking know. It's Russia. Things could happen. Crazy things could happen in Russia, but it's looking like they're trying to move on from it. It would be... They should postpone that fight if they still want to do a card. You could call it UFC 249, but don't put it on pay-per-view at this point if there's not a fucking title fight. Give people the fucking transparency of seeing this shit on ESPN. Put Rosenstrike versus Ngannou. Put that on. If they are able to get together during this thing, then this is only if realistically. Part of what sucks with this is because they said that Dana White said it's 99.9% going to happen, blah, 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 we're going to do it. And they should have not been all that transparent saying it's 99.9 because it's always that 0.1. The fact that it was in 100%, we got the date, the fighters are here, the fighters are there, this is what's going to happen. Because he was so secretive with shit, it kind of always left that doubt. And now we know it's more than like, unless some crazy, and who the fuck, the news is changing so fast. By the time this podcast gets published, they might fucking be fighting in fucking Abu Dhabi or something, and they were able to get a deal with the Russian government to get a private jet for Khabib out of there. So, whatever. But I say put Ngannou and Rosenstrike, or Colby Covington is saying he'll fight Woodley. Woodley's saying he'll fight Covington. Or if Tony Ferguson wants to fight at 170, fuck that. Tony Ferguson, wait for Khabib. Wait for Khabib. And then you could fight whoever the fuck you want after that. But the guy needs to fight for the undisputed title. Wait for Khabib. Whenever that fucking fight, whenever, if it'll ever happen, who the fuck knows at this point. But there's a bunch of people that are stepping up that want to fight at 249 now. I mean, it still is just under 3 weeks away. So, I mean, you could still put a card together if you absolutely have to put a card together. And I think that I feel like they have to almost, because I don't know what their financial situation is like, but it seems like they really want to put a card together. I think Masvidal was saying he could fight Tony, and then Usman was saying he'll fight Masvidal, and there's all these names that are being tossed around between lightweight, welterweight. If you got Ngannou and Rosenstrike, that's a good enough main event for ESPN, of course. But we'll see what ends up happening with this card. I hope, we're all craving live sports in general, let alone MMA. Like, I'd love to see Khabib, Tony, but it looks like that's not going to happen. But if there's another card, great. If not, like, we all understand at this point, and just keep putting reruns of the top fights you guys got. So, yeah. So that's it. That's pretty much it for me. Just did my UFC rundown. I got my supplies. I'm gonna stay home, like all the moralists on Facebook are telling me to do, and I'm gonna do what I gotta do to clean my hands and wash my face, and I'll listen to all you people. So God bless you. Everybody stay safe. Get yourself some hand sanitizer. Get yourself some gloves. Get yourself some masks. And remember, it's at Tony Talks 8 on Instagram, at Tony Talks 8 on Twitter, Tony Talks 8 podcast at gmail.com. Also, shout out to my buddy Joe Galanti for coming on to the last episode. Thought that was really cool to have a guest in. I know there's some issues with the audio, but it's going to get better. I think it'll continue to get better. And, he'll be back on. And I'm looking to have a few people on that have different perspectives, not just with the coronavirus, but with things that could potentially help people with life, or at least give everybody some entertainment or some shit. I don't know. The fuck do I know? That's all I got. Follow me on the gram, on the Twitter. Send in some questions on TonyTalks8podcast at gmail.com. Keep pumping these out. Got 2 more this week, and that's gonna do it for us today. For me. This isn't just a one-man show, though. We're all part of this show, all right? Thanks for sitting down. Go fuck yourselves. Yeah, I'll talk to you next time.
Brand new start of it.